This is going to be your weekly chakra energy check-in. If it's meant for you, it's meant for you. We're going to take some tarot cards, some oracle cards, and we're going to see what may be occurring throughout your chakras right now. So in the comments, please let me know your zodiac sign, your word of the day, how you're feeling in general. I'm filming this on Wednesday morning and it is beautifully sunny, however, super cold. It almost feels like Mother Nature has been up and down. It's been gray, it's been dull, it's been dark, it's been emotional. And then all of a sudden the sun pops out today and it's like, wow, this feels happy and good, you know? And I think that there's a lot to do with the fact that we're approaching the full moon in Cancer, which is happening on January 13th. Now, we are doing a full moon Zoom on Friday, January 10th at 6 p.m. Eastern if you'd like to join. It's $22. It includes a 2-hour general collective reading live on Zoom. You get a recording of that Zoom, but you also get a personalized mini moon reading that will be sent to you by the next new moon. We have a lot to talk about because not only do we have the full moon coming up, we have the North Node shifting into Pisces. So that will be on 1/11, as in January 11th. So we're going to talk about that at the Zoom. We're also going to talk about Mars retrograde, meaning Mars in Cancer. That's a very difficult placement. The emotions the last few days have been all over the place, very intense, even grumpy. I mean, have any of you felt grumpy or got into your head and thought silly things and believed them? And I don't know, there's just been a lot of weird energy at times. I think January is a bit of a tough month. We get the bit of the high because of the new year. We set some intentions. Notice I didn't say resolutions. We set some intentions, and then all of a sudden there's a bit of the blues that come in. And there's various reasons for that. We don't have data for 2025. People are feeling a lot of unrest, politically, with a lot of things happening in the world. There's a bunch of planets that are changing signs this year. You can feel an anticipation, a collective shift, So I digress. Let's take a look at some overall themes for this reading. And we have ride the waves. That's all we can do. I say that all the time. Life lessons and growth. You will get through this. Now, funny that came through because I think in a previous reading I mentioned the song Gotta Get Through This by Daniel Bedingfield. I don't know, I haven't heard that song in years, and all of a sudden it's been referenced in my mind or in my sessions or in these videos. There must be something to that song that's been coming up. But yeah, we got to get through this, and we will get through this. A lot of this is about lessons and growth. I don't know about you, but I've been reflecting a lot the last few days about where I've been and where I'm at and where I want to be. And I have felt a bit of frustration in some aspects. Overall, everything is great. I really don't have any complaints. But I think there's always these little lessons along the way that, make us think deeper and say, okay, how can I shift this? How can I shift this thinking? How can I do better? It's all about growth. And I talk about this a lot. This is the school of life, right? We're lifelong learners. We're always going to have our ups and our downs, and that's okay. Nothing wrong with that. But we do have to learn from the situations that we're in, right? Okay. Now, these are the cards that were in the video about how to shuffle tarot cards. And as you can see, they are really large. Now, what I said in that video was, if you can't shuffle this way, I mean, it really stretches my hands to do so. It's best to take it from the other side and then slowly go through the process of shuffling. This gives you a lot more room. So let's see. Let's take a look at what's going on. This is a color deck. We have magenta. How beautiful. Connect to your deepest inner knowing. I almost have to make a video on inner knowing, especially when reading tarot and oracle cards. If you'd like me to do that, let me know in the comments. That's a very controversial topic to some extent because a lot of the times our inner knowing, or what we think is our inner knowing, can be influenced by the emotional pain body, meaning traumas, triggers, and hurts, and also things that we hope for. That's why we always have to look at the bigger picture, because it's not just about us. It's why things are happening, for us, not to us. And so it's hard sometimes for people to decipher when reading cards, what is their inner knowing as in true inner knowing, or when something is influenced by, pain body and external influences, like how to stay neutral, right? So when we say deepest knowing, oh, I've got a kitty cat that has a deep knowing that she wants to join us. I mean, she's been doing this lately, just coming in and interrupting our readings, and that's okay. That's okay. I always say that when our head hits the pillow at night, that's when we have our most absolute truths. Everybody knows their truth, I believe. It just depends on how we mask them, sometimes during the day. But at night, when the head hits the pillow, we know what's true. And this is telling you to address the truths that you know. Again, life lessons, work through them, acknowledge them. Sometimes it's more important to acknowledge the truth so that you can move past versus sweeping things under the rug that just prolong the process. We don't want to prolong anything. I'd rather have the short-term pain, long-term gain, versus the short-term gain of sweeping something under the rug and having the long-term pain. But to each their own, and all the lessons, right? Let's take a look at what else we need to know. Oops, these cards are, what was this one here? See, learning experience. You can't make that up. And when I look at this card, I see the inner knowing, the hand sort of on the heart, the lantern. It's very much like a hermit energy, Virgo energy, but it doesn't have to be. It's just, what do you know? And what's interesting? This reminds me of a pendulum. And that's also something that I find slightly controversial. I don't know how many of you use pendulums. Divination tools are wonderful, yes. But again, it depends on the person and what they assume to be true, So again, that's why a lot of people have trouble even reading their own cards. Now, people often ask me, Kelly, can you read your own cards? And I can. And that's because I have a built-in, and I don't know where I got this from. I've had it my whole life. It's like, I know how to keep myself accountable. I know how to look at the bigger picture. I don't let anything sway what is, even if I want it deeply within me. Do you know what I mean? I don't know how to explain that. Hopefully you know what I mean. But pendulums can be interesting. That's the word. So yeah, I mean, learning experiences. Okay, let's take a look at the Chakra Wisdom Tarot, which has all the different colors of the chakras or energy centers in the body, and see what's going on in each chakra. We're going to start with the root chakra, which is red in color. It is Mars energy, our drive, our foundation. And currently, right now, look at that, the Wheel of Fortune. Everything is shifting, There's growth, there's expansion, there's good luck. But you can't fight the shift, as I always say. And there's the double rainbow. Divine intervention, perfect timing. As above, so below. What happens in the 5D is reflected in the 3D and vice versa. Okay, so let's take a look at this side. What else do we need to know? Friends, friendship, soul tribe, network, togetherness. I think a lot of friendships are shifting right now. And I've talked to many in this situation where they don't feel like they fit in their previous friend groups anymore. I don't know how many of you feel that. As you ascend spiritually, you may feel more lonely. And I know that that's not easy, but it's part of the journey. And maybe there's a need to find a new soul tribe or a new friend group to help shift you even further. Let's take a look at the sacral chakra, which is orange. That's Venus, self-worth, self-value, and self-respect. Oops, well, okay, I took 2 cards. I almost didn't take 2 cards, but there we go. And they're both red, and they're both 8s. 8 could be an angel number you're seeing. Somebody's overthinking the work that they have to do, or something is getting in the way of the work that needs to be done. Too much overthinking versus action. How many of you are finding yourself thinking more than acting? Analyzing it, overthinking it to the point where maybe it gets in the way. And maybe it's about a belief system. You know, the reason I say that is because the sacral chakra, again, is your self-worth, self-value, self-respect. If you're doubting yourself or you're overthinking, can I have this? Can I really have this? Is this really true? Am I imagining this? What if I'm wrong? What if I make a mistake? What if I fail? I mean, all those things just get in the way, you know, of life lessons. That's the whole point. We learn by doing, right? Again, that's the teacher in me that says, you've got to go through the ups and downs. You've got to have the moments of doubt. You've got to push through them. You've got to experience new energy. That's how learning takes place, right? There you go. You got to rise above it. You've got to trust your intuition. You've got to implement a strategy and see where it takes you. You know, nothing is going to be perfect. Nothing has to be set in stone, but you've got to be willing to put yourself out there. Otherwise, nothing changes. And there's the knight, confident, fearless, assertive, passionate, fighting spirit, persevering. How badly do you want this? How badly do you want this? Brave, champion of a cause. I keep saying this to people lately, and that is, you are your own passion project. Don't forget that. Don't make anything else your passion project. You are your passion project. Let's take a look at the solar plexus. Now, this is yellow. This is your personal power, having the guts to do something. There you go. You have a decision to make. Are you in the old or are you in the new, is what I always say, as you know. And it's a decision point. Do you have the guts to make the decision? Do you have the guts to solve a problem, to address it head on, to ask questions, to be curious? That's what a passion project is, asking questions, being curious, implementing a strategy, finding those answers, compiling that data, and turning it into something amazing. There you go. Can we get any more clear? Forked road, fork and right. This fork and card. Direction change, options. You have free will. You have a choice. Every day you wake up, you have a choice. You have an opportunity. You have possibilities. There's a turning point, change in circumstance. Are you ready? Are you ready for this? I was going to break out into song, but I won't. Let's take a look at the heart chakra, which is green. Matters of the heart, even the intuition of your heart. Oh, the lovers. Oh, boy. The lovers can be a deep soul connection, but essentially the lovers, you know, is Gemini energy, which is a balance, you know, your masculine and feminine energies. It's a decision in love, even. It's a decision point. You might have a decision in regards to a relationship or moving on from a relationship. You know, the geese is about being on a quest to figure out where you're going. It says leaves no one behind. And to be honest with you, I think what's happening to some extent is that some of you may be afraid to leave someone behind if you put yourself first. But remember that, like, you are the main character. You are the passion project. You're not going to lose what's meant for you. You just won't. But you do have to figure out where you're going, whether that's with someone or without. And there's the tools card. You have all the tools to make this happen. Okay. Now, interesting, there's a card. They look so similar. They're made by the same author that was in this deck. And I'm almost wondering if I should just turn it over and see what it is. And, well, you can't make this up, the Chariot. Cancer energy. Look at that. Full moon and Cancer vibes. No surprise. I'm going to put this back over here just as a side note. Okay, let's take a look at the throat chakra, which is all about communication. Ooh, somebody's holding back the communication. Something that I've said recently in a video and talked about in sessions is, are your needs being met? You know, I think there's a few people who are feeling like they need to make some moves. You know, what is it that serves them? Do you feel your needs are being met right now? Oh my gosh, at the bottom of the deck, you'll see in the next few days, a lot of my videos, side note, I was filming and all I kept seeing was light bulbs, lightning, epiphany, breakthrough, the sun, like nonstop. Like, I don't know how many different decks. It felt like 5 different decks. So there is some enlightenment coming, some information. I do believe it's linked around the time of the nodal change, the full moon in Cancer. Let me know if you've experienced any epiphanies or any communication come in, because I think it's going to push people to shuffle a bit, you know, to shift. Okay, so holding back, we saw this card actually recently. The diamond ring, proposal, engagement, going to the next level. Somebody's holding back the communication of going to the next level, whatever that means, whether that's about a commitment, whether that's about your own needs. Crystal ball. Somebody might be, I was just about to address the fact that it says seeing clearly here. And I was going to say maybe somebody's seeing clearly now what they need to do. You know, they might be holding back from it a little bit or may not be. But look at this. It says inner knowing. There's no coincidence. It's like somebody has an inner knowing about something, but they could be holding back. But regardless, there needs to be a going to the next level. Let's take a look at the third eye, which is intuition. 3 of Wands. See, 3 of Wands is a bit of sitting on the sidelines. I mean, we can talk about it as being waiting for your ships to come in. I don't like the idea of waiting. You know, that's why I kind of stay away from that definition of this card, because waiting just brings more waiting. If you're sitting on the sidelines, which is what I'm about to say. Oh, here comes the cat. I think she's going to jump up again right into the cards, but I could be wrong. She's not waiting. I can tell you that much. That this cat typically does not hold back. 3 of Wands is sitting on the sidelines. Oh, she's going to go around. Oh, maybe not. Here she comes. Okay. We love you. Okay. 3 of Wands is a bit of sitting on the sidelines that says, I'm going to do this tomorrow, next week, next month, or next year, you know. And I think that we have to be careful with waiting, because again, waiting just brings you more waiting. See, I feel like she's coming back. Yeah, she just can't get enough. She just can't get, okay, she's going to sit there, but I don't know for how long quietly is she going to actually sit there. Yeah, I don't know. This is an energy that says it's never the right time to do something. So why not now? And yeah, you got to release the baggage, the burdens, the guilt, the regret, the shame. You know, I mean, on the flip side, it is a good omen. You know, stay calm, make the move. Now is the time. It's been a long road. That's the thing. Somebody's been waiting a long time. If this is you and you've been waiting a long time and nothing has changed, then you kind of have to ask yourself, at what point do you make the move? You know, how badly do you want it? And let's take a look at the crown chakra, the downloads. 10 of Swords. Somebody's got to accept that something is over. 10 of Swords means you couldn't have any more swords in your back, so to speak. It's the end of a cycle. Got to let go. Got to let it rest. I don't want to say rest in peace, but let it go. Give yourself some peace. There's the Firefly. Allow the new spark of energy. 11, brand new beginnings, self-discovery, soul spark. You are someone exceptional. It also says creative spark. What's the creative spark that you're experiencing right now? What's something you would love to do that you stopped doing because life got in the way? What's a creative idea that you've come up with that maybe you pushed to the side or dismissed as being impossible? The ballet shoes is telling you to have stamina, endurance, and that you have a lot of talent to do the things that you want to do. You know, don't be afraid to put yourself out there. No, kitty cat's going to shake the camera. Okay, she went down. And let's take some inner childhood oracle cards here, or inner child oracle, I think it's called. I just felt like these cards would be good today for this information. You are wanted. There is a home waiting within. Exactly. That's so beautiful. You are wanted. Listen, your inner child has something to say. Your inner knowing, inner child. Look, I'm telling you, this is no coincidence. 3 times. Your inner child has something to say. And I'm going to take one more. It is okay to be misunderstood. Perception is not always based on the truth. You know, sometimes we live up to an expectation of what other people have of us. I see this all the time. This was something I even knew years ago before doing tarot cards or oracle cards. I saw this in a classroom every day. You know, when people are misunderstood or feel misunderstood, they just continue on the path the way they think others see them. And it's too hard sometimes to go against the grain. But it doesn't have to be that way. You're allowed to be you. You know, you're allowed to go back to that inner child or go back to those wounds and work through them and fix them. Just know that you are wanted. Everything is going to be okay. I really hope this resonates with you. If you'd like to join me on Friday for the full moon Zoom, amazing. If you'd like to do a personal reading with me, the link is in my bio. Thank you very much, and I wish you an amazing day.